So the first thing you want to do, obviously, is jack the car up, put some jack stands underneath it. The rear motor mount is really easy to get to. It's right next to the oil filter, right there, just to the right of it. And I went ahead and started breaking the bolts loose, but before you do that, it wouldn't be a bad idea to place a piece of wood underneath the oil pan held up by a jack to keep the engine from shifting around. I forgot about it until after I got most of the bolts off, and then we went ahead and put one on underneath it. Yeah, but those bolts are pretty tight, so you're going to want to break them with a breaker bar. You can see there we have the jack and the piece of 2x4. It's a pretty simple install. Just unbolt the old one and bolt the new one back on, pretty much. That's what the stock bracket looks like. That's a 17mm socket. All those bolts right there are 17mm, if I can remember correctly. And slides right out. That's the stock rear motor mount. When I was putting the Hasport motor mount in, it was a lot tighter fit than the stock one, so you're going to want to wiggle it around. Might even be a good idea to spray the ends of it with some WD-40, some lube, just to get it in easier. I had a lot of trouble right here getting the bracket around the motor mount itself. I think in part because of my engine shifted just a little bit, where I didn't have it braced properly. So in case you run into that, it's something that you're just going to have to work with. You just have to wiggle it around. It's not the wrong part or anything. I mean, it could be the wrong part depending on what you bought, but I got this one from Axion Industries. You can get them pretty much anywhere, but it's the Hasport U70A urethane. And when you go to bolt the bracket back on, we tightened them down too much, which caused the bracket and the motor mount to pull against the pin that's holding those two together, and I couldn't get that pin pushed forward enough to bolt it down correctly, so we had to go back and unscrew all those bolts enough until we could wiggle it around and get that pin set in place. And if I can remember correctly, the pin, the bolt head and the nut for that center pin are both 22mm. I'm finally able to get that pin pushed all the way through, get the tension off of it, and then I bolted it, tightened it down, and then tightened down all the other bolts on the bracket and the actual motor mount pin. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, so please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you next time.